In the heart of the ancient world, Babylon stood as a beacon of unparalleled grandeur. Its towering ziggurats and vast walls seemed to touch the heavens, encapsulating a city of immense wealth and cultural significance. The Hanging Gardens, a marvel of engineering and beauty, were said to be a paradise on earth, a testament to human ingenuity and the lavishness of Babylonian kings. Within these walls, bustling markets thrived, scholars studied the stars, and the hum of civilization was palpable. Babylon wasn't just a city, it was a symbol of power, innovation and opulence, envied and admired across the ancient world. The city's rise was meteoric, each ruler contributing to its magnificence, ensuring that Babylon was at the pinnacle of progress and luxury. Streets were lined with exotic goods from far-off lands, and temples stood as grand monuments to the gods, shimmering under the desert sun. People from every corner of the known world flocked to Babylon, drawn by tales of its wonders and the promise of prosperity. It was a time of unprecedented growth and cultural flowering, a golden era where anything seemed possible. However, as the city reached its zenith, so too did the arrogance of its leaders. They began to see Babylon as invincible, a fortress that could withstand any threat. This hubris seeped into every aspect of society, blinding them to the growing tensions and the dark clouds gathering on the horizon. The very foundations of their success became the seeds of their potential downfall, a ticking time bomb hidden beneath layers of gold and glory. Babylon's golden heights were dazzling, but they were also precarious. The higher the ascent, the more dramatic the fall would be. As the city basked in its splendor, few could imagine the dramatic shift that awaited, the drastic turn of fate that would soon come crashing down upon them. The summit of Babylon's greatness was both its peak and its breaking point, setting the stage for an epic descent. Yet beneath the surface of this magnificent city, whispers of doom began to circulate. Prophets and seers, revered and feared, spoke of dark omens and impending catastrophe. Ancient texts and oral traditions warned that Babylon's splendor would not last forever. These prophecies painted a grim picture. The city's towering walls would fall, its treasures would be plundered, and its people would be cast into despair. The rulers, consumed by their own hubris, dismissed these warnings as mere superstition, blind to the signs that were so evident to the wise and the faithful. As the years passed, the tension grew, an invisible storm gathering on the horizon. Despite the magnificence, unease began to permeate the city. Strange signs and unsettling events hinted at a grim future, but the warnings fell on deaf ears. The elite, drunk on their own success, scoffed at the ancient prophecies, confident that their city's glory would endure forever. The disconnect between the rulers and the whispers of the streets grew, creating an undercurrent of fear among the common people. The warnings became more urgent, more dire. Seers and wise men spoke of visions filled with blood and fire, of enemies at the gates. Some believed these to be mere tales, meant to instill fear and maintain control, but others could feel the truth in their bones. The shadows of prophecy stretched long and dark over Babylon, an ominous precursor to the coming storm. As the tension reached a breaking point, the city seemed to hold its breath. The prophecies were no longer distant murmurs but pressing realities. The stage was set, the pieces in place for an inevitable clash between destiny and hubris. The shadows of prophecy loomed large, casting a pall over Babylon's golden streets and magnificent towers. The night of reckoning arrived with a sudden, brutal clarity. The Medes and Persians, long-standing rivals, launched a coordinated and ferocious assault on the unsuspecting city. Babylon's mighty walls, once thought impregnable, crumbled under the relentless pressure of the invaders. Fire and smoke filled the air, casting an eerie glow over the chaos below. Citizens, gripped by terror, fled through the streets, their screams mingling with the clash of swords and the shouts of soldiers. The city's grand architecture, its symbols of strength and beauty, were reduced to ruins in a matter of hours. The invaders, driven by vengeance and greed, left no stone unturned, no treasure untouched. The initial shockwave of the invasion shattered the night's peace, turning dreams into nightmares. Soldiers poured through the breached walls like a flood, their war cries piercing the darkness. Panic spread like wildfire among the citizens, their once comfortable lives now thrown into disarray. The The scenes of violence and desperation were unlike anything the city had ever seen, a stark contrast to its former glory. Desperation took hold as families were torn apart, homes set ablaze, and the once orderly streets descended into chaos. The proud Babylonian warriors fought valiantly, but they were no match for the overwhelming force and ruthless strategy of the invaders. The city that had stood as an unbreakable fortress now lay vulnerable and exposed, its defenses crumbling like sandcastles in the tide. As dawn broke, the full extent of the devastation became apparent. Babylon, the mighty, had fallen. Its majestic towers lay in ruins, and its streets were strewn with the remnants of a brutal conflict. The night of reckoning had fulfilled the dire prophecies, casting a long shadow over what was once the world's most magnificent city. In the wake of the fall, Babylon was unrecognizable. The once thriving city lay in ruins, its people scattered or enslaved. The aftermath was a harsh reminder of the fragility of human achievement. The surviving inhabitants faced a grim reality. Their city, their home, was now a shadow of its former self. Trade routes shifted, scholars fled, and the once vibrant culture began to fade into obscurity. The fall of Babylon was not just a physical collapse but a symbolic one, marking the end of an era and the beginning of a new, uncertain chapter in the region's history. The silence that followed the chaos was deafening. The bustling markets, the lively discussions in the scholarly halls, the hum of everyday life, all had vanished. What remained was a desolate landscape, filled with the echoes of what once was. The great city that had drawn people from far and wide was now a wasteland, its beauty marred by the scars of war and neglect. For the people of Babylon, the new reality was harsh and unforgiving. Those who had survived the onslaught were faced with the monumental task of rebuilding their lives amidst the ruins. Hope was a scarce commodity, and the future seemed bleak. The rich cultural tapestry that had defined Babylon began to unravel, its threads lost to the winds of change. Yet, in this desolation, there were lessons to be learned. The fall of Babylon served as a stark reminder of the impermanence of human achievement, of the dangers of hubris and complacency. It was a story that would be told and retold, a cautionary tale that would echo through the ages, long after the city's ruins had crumbled into dust. Yet, the story of Babylon did not end with its destruction. The lessons of its rise and fall echoed through the ages, influencing countless generations. Historians, poets, and philosophers pondered the moral of Babylon's fate, a cautionary tale about the perils of hubris, the inevitability of change, and the transient nature of power. Babylon's legacy endured, not as a relic of its physical splendor, but as a powerful narrative that shaped the way we understand history, leadership, and human nature. Its story serves as a timeless reminder that even the greatest civilizations can fall, and that from their ashes, new stories and new lessons will always emerge. The ruins of Babylon became a symbol, a testament to the cycles of rise and fall that define human history. Scholars studied its past, seeking to understand the factors that led to its downfall. Writers and artists drew inspiration from its tragic tale, weaving it into the fabric of their works. The echoes of Babylon's story resonated far beyond its geographical and temporal boundaries, influencing cultures and civilizations around the world. As the centuries passed, the lessons of Babylon were integrated into the collective consciousness. Its story was not just about a city's fall, but about the universal themes of power, pride, and vulnerability. It served as a mirror, reflecting the potential fate of any civilization that failed to heed the warnings of history. Babylon's fall became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the fragile balance between greatness and downfall. Today, the story of Babylon continues to captivate and inspire. It reminds us that from the ashes of destruction, there is always the possibility of rebirth and renewal. The echoes of Babylon's rise and fall are a testament to the enduring power of storytelling, a powerful narrative that continues to shape our understanding of the past and guide our hopes for the future. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.